Manoletto settimota. Mambo. Decimati settimota.
All right, let's get all techie. This week
Hey.
we'll talk a little bit of tech.
Welcome to the Moe and O show.
Oh yeah, hey, welcome to the Moe and O show. My name is Omar Gonzalez.
And I'm Mo Morales. And today we're going to talk about technology and who else cares, but we're here.
Yeah, and those of you that have stumbled upon this show, I apologize. Number one, and number two, we talk mostly photography on this channel, but we will talk phones today a little bit because some exciting news this week, and we'll talk about men.
Men posing as men. Or men being posed by men.
Are you posing as a man?
Susan, I see right through you.
I wonder.
It's always Susan.
I was about to say. I'm like, wow, who is this Susan? That's Susan.
Stop it. Oh, I've lost all my cheese right now.
Susan, stop being a man.
I got to be me. He's from Yugoslavian,
Oh my
German.
God. I cried on that laugh. All right. This is what happens when best buds get together each week on this podcast.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the
I'm
show.
trying to bring it back.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, NPR here. All right. So let's talk about this week's announcement. What was announced?
They announced the brand new Pixel 3a and 3a XL.
Oh, sorry. Say the name again. I ruined that.
They announced the new Pixel 3a and Pixel 3a XL.
Game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Price. Let's talk about that off the bat.
So right off the bat, you're starting at $399 for the Pixel 3a, and you're at $479 for the Pixel 3a XL.
So I can tell you right away who this phone is for. My wife doesn't want to spend anything on a phone, even if I justify, hey, the phone's going to be faster. This $700 phone, you don't need a $1,000 phone, but you do need a $700 phone. I'm trying to tell her this is perfect price point for people who want a great camera, who want a phone with a wonderful like Android experience. Full disclaimer, I'm on Team Pixel, so Google sends me phones, but they don't pay me or anything. And I will say that one of their phones, the last Pixel, did have some call quality issues. And Mo, that's like a known thing, right?
Yeah, so supposedly a lot of microphones for the Pixel brand, the Pixel 3 and 3 XL, they had some communication issues where you would make a phone call and either the party you're calling can't hear you or you couldn't hear your party.
Yeah. I was making client calls and they're like, hello. So I had problems with the Pixel 3, but so far I've been using this guy for the whole week and making business calls. Everything has been great. So hopefully those issues were fixed. All right, so what are your thoughts on this phone, man?
I am blown away by what you're getting for the price. You're not getting top of the line specs here, but you're at the place where you should be more than happy and you should be recommending this phone to your friends and family.
Completely. And if you're not someone who is as freaking phone techie as Mo is here, that he has to have the top of the line Super 9, what is it, the 8 gigabytes of memory. This guy's 4. Right?
It's 4. So the original Pixel 3 and 3 XL came out with the 845 chip processor from Qualcomm.
Snapdragon?
The Snapdragon 845.
I knew something there.
And they only came with 4 gigs of RAM, and people were like bashing it in a world where everybody's usually at least minimum of 6.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that the Pixel had, where it would shut down programs. The reason you want more RAM is so that you can keep programs open longer in the background.
You're
right?
not necessarily multitasking. You're just like the phone is...
For instance, you open up a game, you have to go jump into something else real quick. You can go back and your game is exactly where you left it.
Yeah.
So 4 gigabytes of RAM in today's pressing world is pushing it. It's not hard to live by that if you're not a power user, but people who are doing these reviews are usually power users, and they get impacted by this because they don't want to have to relaunch an app from the beginning by just swiping back into the app, and instead of it being where they left it, now the app is rebooting, relaunching.
And that's why I said this phone is perfect for my wife. She just wants to make a freaking call, and she wants to be able to text and take gorgeous photos. So she doesn't have a camera. She'll never have a camera. Mm-hmm. But the camera on this is just as good and even better than some of the cameras you and I have used.
Right. So the difference between this one and the 3 is you lose wireless charging. You lose the Snapdragon 845.
You lose that damn notch.
You lose waterproofing. Well, not waterproofing, water resistance.
That could be a big thing for people. It doesn't have any sort of certification for the water resistance.
But I think if you're recommending a phone, you're buying one for your family, your friends, your daughter, your son, your mom.
$399.
$399.
Damn.
Or $479. You can't go wrong. Even if you were going to buy a used Pixel 3 or 3XL on Swappa, you're still paying $600, $700, $800 still for it used.
How many products have we seen with such a price jump? Like, for example, the iPhone XR was a $749 start, which not that much of a jump from the $999
right.
Flagship. So there was a little bit of a quote budget to this phone, but that's a great jump.
So the XR, the iPhone XR, the Samsung 10e are both priced at $749. They both give you a lot of what you're getting with the full version of the phone.
Yeah.
But you're not getting. There's certain things that you're not getting, like the multiple cameras on both of these phones, the XR and the Samsung.
No multiple camera.
Is that any other? But this is not even playing in that realm because you're still going from $899 or $900 to $749. Now you're going from $899, $799 down to $399.
Wow.
And I don't think there's anything in the market that'll give you a perfect cell phone at this price point. But this is by hands down one of the better options that you get at this price point.
Do you think this kind of it doesn't put an end to, but it starts to see? We don't have the wide camera on this guy. This is the widest we can go on the Pixel 3A, and if you notice, I'll post these up. But look how great that is. That wide angle camera is
a beautiful thing. I think no phone is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Even the OnePlus 6 is more expensive than this right now. And the OnePlus 6
is this the OnePlus killer? They should have called it that.
No,
you know how OnePlus calls it?
I get the flagship killer. No, because it can't touch the OnePlus 6 because it has minimum of 6 or to 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Is OnePlus expandable memory or
no?
Neither is.
But they do come where you can get more memory up front.
Yeah.
So you got 128 or 256 as opposed to just 64, which is a hard sell for a power user, 64 gigabytes. But the reason I like this phone is if you have a courier. I like my soup and curry. Yeah. So if you're on a carrier, these phones are now being released through Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile.
But you still pay for it each month, no?
Let me tell you. Hold on. So you're getting...
we don't work for these companies, by the way.
So
not sponsored by.
Any phone you get nowadays, if you're picking it up from a carrier, you're paying a certain percentage down. For instance, T-Mobile, anything they will let you finance anything up to $750.
Okay.
Anything after $750, the difference between $750 and the price of the phone, that's your down payment.
Okay, got it. And then everything else is monthly.
So you pay the taxes up front and whatever the difference is between $750 and true price. This phone is $479. That phone is free to take home as long as you pay for the taxes.
Oh, wow.
So you're paying $20 a month.
I got to check that.
I will choke you out here in public. So you're taking this phone free besides the taxes, and you have an amazing phone.
An amazing phone.
It's got everything that I loved about the Pixel 3. I don't know what it's called, the camera. I don't know what it's called, but when you put the phone down, it's listening to the music because all your phones are listening to you. Don't play that you don't know that. Oh, yeah. So when this phone's listening to the music you're listening to, it tells you what song it is. The fact that you can screen your calls with this phone.
You know what's so funny? Let's talk about that. There's a great feature called screen calling, and basically the phone will ring, and there's a little button that says screen the call. Then the Google Assistant picks up the phone.
Like, who's this? What do you want?
You should be able to customize it. Yo, what up?
Yo, this is Omi.
Like Eddie Murphy when he was Mr. Robinson's place. He's like, who is it? And I like that the Google Assistant will pick up the phone and say, hi, you're being, this message will be transcribed. Please state your purpose. That way, if you're busy, you have sort of an assistant answering the phone. And I did get clients really quick that would write and say, hey, this is so-and-so. Give me a call back when you have time. And if a call is important, because there's so many robocalls that you really have to screen.
So with,
You know?
with the screening purposes, I've already avoided multiple sales calls or whatever
Exactly.
because people just drop.
And
Once they
also,
hit that-
since it's a robocall, it thinks the Google Assistant is a human that picked up and is talking, and it will record like, "Hey,
Hi.
save 15% on
do
your
you want
car
to buy
insurance."
Booger shirts? Booger McFarlane shirts. He's an NFL player, by the way, former
no.
NFL player. Another thing is because it's got a smaller chipset, it's rocking the Snapdragon 670 as opposed to the 845.
Yeah.
It's people. Again, you're not going to get the fast processing of the pictures. Like for instance, everyone knows that Google is famous for their picture processing.
Yeah,
It takes algorithms and stuff, and it takes a simple picture and it makes it a better picture. For instance, every cell phone out there has a Google camera APK, which
Okay.
is a program you could download off of like websites, for instance, like XDA developers.
So if you're developing a camera app, you could use Google's engine.
Well, you really can,
Oh,
but
okay.
you could actually use it on your phone.
Oh, all right.
For instance, if you didn't have these pixels and someone gave you like, hey, Omar, here, take this LG phone with you or take this Samsung phone with you, and you like the camera on those phones, but you
The pictures-
prefer a little bit something better, you can actually download a module designed after the Google
No
camera.
way.
And that takes your pictures from just okay, already makes your camera much better right off the
Wow.
bat. So
and what does it do? Is it like sharpness, color,
it does
contrast
everything the
kind of thing?
algorithm does. It looks at the picture. It takes multiple shots at one time. It creates a different type of HDR. It makes your picture sharper, better, and
The
more
pictures
punchy.
are so good.
I'm gonna send you some pictures.
I'm going to post one here. If you're on the YouTube channel, you could see it. But I just quick took a picture of my Panera salad.
It was a good picture too.
Right?
I
Like,
was like, that bread was so.
and
bready.
even just a picture of myself, I'm zooming in, and it takes care of like a lot of the skin imperfections. So the Google algorithm must see a face and be like, "Yo, we don't want to see skin that much,
Right.
but we also don't want to blur it."
we don't want to make fake makeup.
Yeah, and so my skin looks good, better than if we had a camera. We'll pick up everything, and then I'm looking at like each individual hair here, which I like to do in my spare time.
He counts them. There's one missing.
But look, I put a watch up on eBay, and I did like macro shots of it to show that it's brand new. Look at that! Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, so we'll kind of end it there because there's enough videos out there that go through the specs. I've seen videos where they have the Pixel 3 versus the Pixel 3a speed test. These are things you're not going to notice if you have the Pixel 3a. It takes like a millisecond more to open up apps and to go.
Only people that'll get upset about it is a superpower user that wants it yesterday.
Yeah.
If you're like,
This is not aimed for them.
is,
Yeah.
is your wife, me, I'm more than
Why
fine
does
with
yours
it.
look better than mine? Is
I
it
have,
what
I,
your?
have a, I have a better white balance. I have a better backdrop. too.
Yeah. Why is yours so much better than mine?
So if you were to ask me, Mo, my family member needs a new phone.
All right, let's talk about these two.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Do I pick up the XR by Apple, or do I pick up the Pixel? Why are you blinding us with the light? Blinded by the light. So anyway, or should I have them pick up the Pixel 3a or 3a XL? I would tell them one of two things. If it's their only phone, what are they into right now? Are they in the
If it's
Apple
like grandma,
world?
if it's like just grandma, get her an amazing phone.
You know
Pixel
what?
3.
If it's a grandma, no, get her the Apple phone. It's going to be simpler to use.
Really?
Think about it. The icons are all in the same place. They're cartoony. There's nothing about this phone that's complex to use.
True.
You open up the camera app. While it's a very old and tired camera app, guess what?
She probably has an iPad.
Because it's so old and tired, people know it.
Yeah,
and they
right.
can just easily pick it
Grandma
up.
has an
For
iPad.
grandma, this is the perfect choice.
Okay.
If you're buying it for one of your kids and this, that, and the other,
However, can I just say that I don't want to spend that much on a grandma.
well, you know what? Some people love their grandmothers, Omar. I'm not going to say anything else on that. If you're buying it for your kid or something like that, they're going to want this one because the camera.
Damn,
And it's going to
yeah.
be amazing, and this, that, and the other. And plus, the simple Pixel world,
Yeah.
it's again, if you're not trapped in the ecosystem, we always talk about the ecosystem of
Yeah.
Apple. If you're not trapped in that ecosystem, this is the greatest phone to buy at this point. It's not perfect. No. It's not perfect. But it gives you enough of everything that you need as a basic user. If you're a power user, go after the Huawei P30. If you or the Samsung,
S10.
Note S10s, the S10s, the Note S10, the S10s, the iPhone Maxes, those are still better video cameras. Those are still better camera options with wide angle.
But wait.
the Huawei phone has like a 5-time optical zoom. It's amazing. They're better they're better phones out there in general. But if you ask me for $399, $479, what am I getting? This is one you get.
Yeah, agreed. I was gonna mention that the quote camera on this iPhone XR may be better, but the pictures do not look as good. I don't think Apple has gotten a grasp on. They seem to warm everything up.
I think my pictures are always too warm on here.
Right? And I feel like the Pixel has a good white balance, which is more true to life and on the cooler real side.
Mm-hmm.
And Apple tries to smooth out skin and warm up. They need some photographers on this. On this problem.
Now the iPhone.
Let me take one to post on the show.
The iPhone has a much better video camera as well. They're both great video cameras. Don't get me wrong.
But how freaking orange we are!
That's
Oompa Loompa.
My shirt.
No, look at my. Okay, so I'll post this picture as well. But if you're on the YouTube channel, look at the warmth of the. So I feel like white balance and clarity on the pixels it's just so beautiful. And I think photographers will appreciate the color balance. Look at your shirt.
Yeah, point it to the camera. Point it towards the camera.
Yeah, I'm going to post it. I'm going to post
Okay,
the picture.
Yeah.
But I feel that this is... And you know what? They're fooling us. It's vibrance. It's definitely a vibrance. But someone thought of that. Someone thought, you know what people like? Greens, reds.
Because I'm
oranges.
I'm a multiple phone guy. I like to send my picture from the Apple phones to my Android phone and vice versa, and see how they look.
That's a great
thing
to
do. You always see the difference because the way the screens are tightened up or calibrated. That's what I was looking for.
I was gonna say, damn, I look good.
But still, for an extra $230, you're getting wireless charging on this one.
It's a beautiful design phone as well. The iPhone. You're talking about the iPhone now?
It's made of glass. It's got a solid processor. You don't miss anything from this phone that you don't get on the Apple XS or the XS Max.
It's a great all-arounder.
It's only got 3 gigs of RAM on here, but that's another point where Apple is so efficient.
Oh, they're efficient at using it.
That you don't even know you're missing it. So if you want to be a cool kid and you want to get a good phone that's affordable, you go with the Google Pixel 3a. It's carbonite. It's Han Solo.
Well, not mine. It's Han Solo. Mine's plastic. How'd you get carbonite?
It's plastic. Polycarbonate. What is that?
Polycarbonate.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Words are hard, man. So it's a plastic phone, but it doesn't feel plastic because the way the last Pixel was made.
Absolutely.
The last Pixel was made with a special coating that didn't make it feel like glass.
Yeah, it's a slight difference, but man, you could fool someone.
You could definitely say, hey, this is the Pixel 3. And they're like, oh, okay, that's nice. And they walk away. They're like, not even thinking. Another thing, too, on the Pixel 3 XL, the fact that notch, that beaver tooth notch is gone.
The notch.
See what you did there, man. That boy is talent.
Yeah.
That notch being gone, yeah, you still got big bezels, but I'm not that guy that cares about bezels yet.
Everything comes full circle. Mm-hmm. I think the notch is an experiment that, now they're doing the whole, hole punch? The hole punch thing. Like, how do I need my phone to be endless from edge to edge?
That's what people want. They want that new look, the technology look, and what looks sharper than a brand new phone with a different type of display.
You're right.
Whether it's a hole punch, which is a teardrop notch, these are all ways to give you as much screen as possible and a certain form factor. That's the beautiful thing about the Samsung phone. You don't even realize you have those 2 holes or the 1 hole when you're watching a video because it's such a small opening. It's not like the big beaver tooth of the Pixel 3.
That's
XL.
what they're calling.
Yeah.
Some people said it looked like a face too.
Oh my God.
Funny.
And that's the whole thing. Like I got the Pixel 3 XL at a ridiculously good price when it first came out, and I could not stand looking at the phone.
They say it disappears. Not this one.
No, this one is like embedded in your mind. Like to this day, I still feel that notch is on me. But going to this 3XL, 3A XL, like not having that notch. This is the phone I would have preferred to have seen back in September, October.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I think phone-wise, we're done.
Yeah, we're done with that. So, Omar.
Yeah.
I find that men are so much harder to pose than women. when it comes to photography purposes, whether it's at a wedding, whether it's a family shoot, whether it's his own personal like headshots that he wants.
Yeah.
What do you kind of do to?
All right, so let's put men in different categories.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt your question there. You're like, what do you?
No, words are cool.
All right, let's talk models first. So we're talking full out men that look amazing. They have a suit on. We need to pose them. So what are some go-tos for you?
There's always the hand in pocket trick.
Great. It just usually you want the hands doing
because
something.
I think people, women, men, their first panic point is, what am I going to do with my hands?
Yeah.
So first of all, shut up. Snap out of that.
Snap out of it,
I got
Susan.
no time. Okay. I got no time for this. So first thing is you put the hands in a pocket, and you want to have a little bit of opening.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I'm showing my hands are in my pocket, and then I have my two elbows flared away from the body.
You can do both hands in pocket, so there's like a relaxed look. Or you could do one usually.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're sitting down, I like to have the hand over the thigh, arm over the thigh, hand hanging down in between his legs, where he could be cool yet unassuming, just relax there.
Yeah, when I sit down a gentleman, the first thing we do when we sit down is we go deep in the chair usually. And what I usually have them is come off the chair, like put your butt on the edge, because what we do is this.
That's pretty edgy.
Puns. So I think having someone, and I do this for ladies as well, but have them sit on the edge of the chair so that they put their weight. And then I think this look, where you have the palm on the a palm face down on a thigh kind of thing.
So
and
Omar
like
has
you
the
said,
reverse grip on his upper thigh.
Yeah, and I think if you want the closest thing to be the camera is the gentleman's face. So something where he's leaning into the camera.
Right, presenting a good strong jawline.
Exactly. So I think that for like quote model or a portrait shoot is a good go-to. Hands in pockets, and if they're sitting, have them one thing you want to avoid with gentlemen is straight up the crotch shot.
Shots. I was thinking that. I didn't think you were going to say that, but you said it.
We're talking full crotch here.
Crotch shot. Where first thing you say is like,
junk.
Is that a zipper? What is that?
What?
Susan, stop staring. I am a man.
I am. Susan is a man. Oh my God, you just reminded me of like Ace Ventura. Einhorn is a man. But classic. I think, and guys, especially dads, don't know, they don't see what we see behind the camera. So your lens is pointing right at crotch and junk and stuff. You want to turn the gentleman. That's why if they're the letter V here, I'm doing it on camera now.
We're all going to die. He's going to break everything. All these cameras are going down.
So if this is that's where people look when they're looking at the photograph. So that's why we say that the knee should be pointing at the lens and the gentleman can be more like this.
Omar's pointing his head over the knee, aiming at the camera.
Yeah, so crotch, beware of the crotch.
Right.
That would be the title of my book.
Omar Gonzalez presents Beware of the Crotch. On paperback by Sublin Publishing.
Forward by Sue Bryce.
Susan.
So I think that's good advice for general men. Men that are generals. And I think like family dads and stuff are usually very awkward. And one pose I always see that family photographers do is they make dad lay down, like in the park. How would you feel about that?
I would be very upset wearing my expensive outfit to this photo shoot that have to now lay in the park down on. And then, like, first of all, I'm the alpha. Why are they laying on me?
That's the other thing. And I mean, I'm the alpha. That's what men want to, even though they're not.
Again, women, we're not saying that's an actual statement, but it's an honest male thought that they feel that they're the alpha, they're in charge, they're taking care of the family.
Yeah, and it's all subconscious.
Right.
They don't feel this, but you do feel emasculated, let's say, if they sit you like crisscross applesauce.
Right.
Unless you're with all your kids, you could do that shot.
All over
they're grouped you and loving
but
you.
But if you're by yourself laying in a park and you've never done that in life, having someone photograph you doing it, you're like, why did this ass make me do this shot?
Yeah.
So you have to find their comfort level. And 9 out of 10 times laying them down is not going to work.
No, and I see that pose all the time.
It's easy.
It's easy because you can stack people. Right. You can have the kid behind them standing who's short. Yeah, that's the issue is dad is usually the tallest. Mm-hmm. Not always, but dad's the tallest. And leave Susan alone. What do you do with a super tall dad? Let's say mom is down to his nipples. Oh yeah.
So then you have to rethink that shot. Do you want to get over both of them and shoot down, or depending how
do something a little bit more creative? You mean
Yeah,
that'll level them out.
Yeah, shooting down at the family, where everyone's looking up at the camera, where it doesn't look like they're like straining their necks. Obviously,
yeah, I could see if you have like a fire escape or something, and you have a cool shot of them all around dad. That might be cool.
Yeah,
make sure you're at F8 because dad's 9 feet
you're
tall.
on the grassy knoll and you have a little curve there. Yeah, like. We have a shooter. Wait, no, sorry. Flashback. I'm sorry. I'm back. But no, I think tall dads are challenges. I've had to do them. So I've actually had them sit down in the background.
It's important. Yeah, sit pose on a bench. Let's just say not sitting on the ground, but sitting on a bench, and then you can put kids sitting on the back of the bench, mom cuddling up with him, so you can create a triangle with dad. I think that's cool.
Another thing, if we want to go back a step here, remember people, if you're in a neighborhood that sitting the people on the floor, male, female, family members, not everyone wants to sit on the floor. You have to think about your clients. They're wearing very expensive outfits in their mind, or very nice outfits.
Yeah, usually everyone gets dressed up.
And we're in a city environment most of the time when we're shooting, and there's certain places you wouldn't want to sit down, no matter how nice the city is.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. I've had dads. You get all kinds of different dads, of course, just like you get all kinds of different people, and it's always fascinating to see the psychology of people. There are neat freaks or people who don't want to get dirty, and you have to respect that. And I've had dads that are like a little, I shouldn't say dads, plural. It's probably one or two dads. It's very rare, but that are icked out by a bench or something. And so my solution is I always carry the
cover for the reflector.
High five, brother.
Yeah.
High five. I love when we finish each other's sentences. Yeah. The cover for the reflector folded.
Universal seat right there, man.
Totally. And if you need more, my bag actually has a flap that comes off. It has a removable flap here. So in an emergency, if I don't have the reflector cover, watch this.
Instant seat, baby.
Siéntate.
Yeah, you can put that anywhere and people can sit
Isn't
down.
that cool?
It
you
is.
can even put two kids here, like half and half, butt-wise, if something is gross or it just rains. Sometimes it just rains the day before, and you have the perfect stone steps.
You want to get that shot, but you have to also respect the cleanliness of people's outfits.
Yeah. All right, so back to men. A couple of other poses that work is crossing arms. But know that like there's a % of the population that can't do that well.
Or can't do it correctly, right?
Yeah.
They're going to look awkward.
And you can tell right away if someone doesn't know that that's a relaxed pose if their shoulders come up.
Right,
so if you get this guy that's trying too hard, and then you tell him relax their shoulder, but now like it's just their arms are too... Yeah.
Nipple elbows, yeah. It's just awkward.
But a guy that does that, because some of us do stand like that, and if they look good in it, you know what? Here's like another posing tip. Don't bring people down. Meaning if someone crosses their arms like that, like with nipple cross arms, you're like, that looks terrible. Or you can't do that.
Can I crush your soul, sir? Sir, stop doing that now.
Wow, you're really bad at that. Let's
she married you?
So what you do instead is, you know what? Take that picture. You can either take that picture and not deliver it, or say, you could be like, let's just turn, move on. Like, see that it's not working, that the person's stiff, and just say, you know what, let's try one thumb in pocket. I think that'll look a little better. Just move on.
It's always easier to keep the flow going than to destroy someone's ego, because now you've already created a self-embarrassment. Now they're embarrassed. Now they don't feel like their mind is somewhere else.
Their mind is somewhere else.
It's in a pity pattern.
They're not with you.
It's in a pity pattern. Like, well, what's he mean I didn't do that right? What do you mean I don't look good at doing that?
Or what does he mean that didn't look right? Yeah.
And don't say that. Don't say anything. Just keep moving. It's easy. I don't even say, oh, something wrong with the camera. Stop working when you pose like that because you're so ugly. No, that's gonna stop the whole motion.
What's with those elbows, man?
Oh, dude, those got nice nipples.
So I since I shoot a lot anyway, I'm like a fast shooter. I'll take it and be like, this ain't working. Let's move his body. And I think you can have a couple of go-tos for men, and the one go-to is you can have straight on. Men's shoulders can be completely straight onto the camera, and they look good. So have either thumbs in pockets, have them relax their shoulders, bam. Usually you could do that with a woman too if you're trying to show power. Like What?
I just thought of Susan again.
Oh, Susan.
Sorry. I think also, if you're a female photographer or a male photographer, you have to remember the psychology of photography, right? If you're not used to women all day long selfies, not all of them, but a lot of them all day long selfies. Some guys never look at a camera, never want to be a selfie, never want to take a picture.
Oh yeah, you're talking of
so. This could be the very first time
headshot
dad's in front of a camera,
kind of thing. Yeah.
or sometimes the first time the CEO is getting a new picture taken.
It's really awkward, those.
So you have to stop and think about who you're working with. Who is your client? One of the most important things in photography is taking a few minutes or during the course of the shoot to actually communicate with your client to understand what kind of person he or she is.
Totally.
Because
that's more important.
You can't take an extrovert and unextrovert him instantly. You have to milk him until you get him to the point where he actually takes a few great shots. So that might be a day where you take 70 shots and you only present 7.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's more photography psychology than posing. It's more important to get that person's shoulders to crack,
right,
and to really look
if they're
good.
Up here the whole time and my shoulders are hunched now. If they're up here the whole time, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, we've done headshot sessions together. I've seen some of the men you worked with that just like you are putting them in a good, like flattering position, but it's like, damn, relax, bro. You know, you want to say.
This is where you have to say, can I touch you? Because I need to rearrange your whole face. No.
Yeah, and I have you ever gotten your picture taken? You know.
Yeah, and it still feel awkward.
Yeah, it's like, as a photographer, I hate it.
All right, first of all, you hate it. First of all,
yeah.
And then 2, you're like, do I look like a doof? I am a doof.
Do you think that's a good point? You think the photographer should get their photos taken and be in a portrait session, maybe to sort of get some?
I think fellow photographers should shoot other fellow photographers. I don't think we should shoot each other all the time.
Yeah.
I think you need to shoot with other people just to shoot. And then have them shoot you, you shoot them, because it realigns your assessment of what that person is going through.
And I don't think we should both bring cameras, or you should both bring cameras. It should be a complete session for one person.
So, for instance, we should both call George up and tell him, George, you need to do a photo session for both of us.
We should do that, because I have not been on the other side of the camera to even show people how to pose
for joking purposes and for illustration purposes. When we're doing the headshot thing, you did do a couple, but that was not.
That was for fun. You
were not in the mindset. This is my session.
No, that was fun.
You were in a session. You were in the thought of, I'm showing someone else how to do it. I'm still a photographer.
I think that's a great learning thing that we just came up with now. Is get yourself shot.
Mm-hmm. shot. Everybody.
I grew a beard in your honor today.
No, that's not a beard set.
I know. I knew you were going to say that. But what do you do with these little grays?
These lots
you
of grays?
just own them?
Yeah.
You just own it.
I just rock it. Salt and pepper all day.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper's on.
Ooh,
push it,
baby.
Push it real good.
Baby.
Baby.
I got a question
we just
for
got
you.
A copyright strike.
Oh, yeah, because that was so exact.
So real.
I was talking to my wife about gym class in high school, and do you remember us having to go through some kind of course that they would grade us on?
Health course.
I just remember that our gym teachers, by the way, were useless. I don't know if you remember, they would put us on a spot, like to take attendance, and we would do 10 jumping jacks. 10 jumping jacks.
Mr. Frank Andrula.
That's right.
Mr. Robert Lisa.
You're calling them out.
And Miss Ferrara.
Yeah, Ferraro.
Hey, Miss Ferrara. Everyone didn't like
But do you remember we only did exercise for about 10 minutes? We did 10 jumping jacks, and then we would do lunges.
Omar, it's called calisthenics. And you would do the calisthenics so that you could then go play basketball.
Or do your homework like I did.
Or be nerd out like you did. I was in the group of playing dodgeball.
Okay.
I couldn't play basketball because I was a human foul machine.
Oh, yeah. I could never. But look at the guys in our school playing basketball. You couldn't hold your own at all.
And they were not good enough to be professional, and they were still amazing.
They were crazy.
That's why I always respect professional basketball players, because I know the guys I played with, I'm like, they could be professional. I'm like, no, actually, they can't.
Yeah, so I remember from gym that we used to do a little bit of exercise, and then all of a sudden we had to do this is what I was explaining to my wife, that we had to do some kind of course. And the reason I'm bringing it up is if you remember anything, but you had to climb a rope or do something with pegs. And then I remember we jumped in a pool. We actually had to swim in our pool. Mm-hmm. I know you can't swim though.
We did that one year.
1 year.
1 year
I
only.
think someone drowned
Yeah.
and they canceled.
We lost Billy, Bobby, and Jorge. Oh wait, Jorge's still here. He's okay.
Do you remember that at all? It was like a fitness
One time.
test.
It was one time thing.
Yeah.
I remember that. Wasn't it when President Reagan or somebody?
That's what I
came
told
out
her.
there,
I told her it was because of a president. She's like, no.
It was like a health initiative. Like everyone should be able to do minimum of this. Like, you know how hard it is to pull your body up a pegboard when you're fat and don't do anything but eat
The
Cheetos?
pegboard. So picture this, those of you out there. There was a pegboard that was, first of all, it was like 7 feet up.
Right. First of all, you needed a boost. And they're like, get up there. I'm like, get up there how? Are you going to get a forklift?
Yeah.
What's
where's the little ladder? So you had to jump up to the pegboard.
With
and
the
then,
pegs.
Yeah, with the
Get
pegs.
them into the hole.
Yeah. Oh, with the pegs. I don't know about that. I think they were up there already. But you had to like...
I'm in. I'll go up, sir.
Ninja training by President Reagan.
We're going to find our next assassin. Thank you very much.
But I remember you had to pull a peg out and hold yourself with the other arm, like your entire body.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I weighed 110 pounds, but, and then with my little spaghetti arms, go to the next peg and go up. I don't think I could do any.
It was training for me before I became a Marine. You know, like, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
This is the real deal, except for the swimming part.
Yeah, the swimming part.
I was
Well,
a rock.
the thing that sticks out in my mind was you went through this whole course and they left the pool for the end, obviously, because you can't be
Because you
wet.
have all the energy left, right? No.
Well, I remember. Well, that's what I was about to tell you. I remember jumping in the water, and you have to hold your breath to go underwater. My lack of oxygen
It was surprising.
my heart was beating so hard that under the water was like, dun, 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 and I needed a breath. But it took so long when you jump in the pool to swim up that I was like almost dying.
The Hoboken High Pool at that time had an Olympic-sized pool, right?
Oh, well, I don't know if it was Olympic.
It was very
smaller.
close to.
It was big. It was like for swim meets and
It was
stuff.
definitely, they had swim meets in it, and you can dive into one part for like 50 feet. It was
Yeah,
so deep, our
so
pool.
deep.
It wasn't 50 feet, but
It was like it was
at that
deep.
age,
It was 12,
You thought it
yeah.
was 50 feet. Like you're waiting for the Kraken to come out and grab you. Like you ain't never escaping.
Totally. And so I wondered if you got to skip that part or go to the shallow end because you couldn't swim.
I'm like, okay, Mr. Lisa, what kind of a show do you want to see? Do you want to see a kid succeed at swimming, or do you want to see a kid drowning and hoping to God someone saves him before he dies? Because if that's what you want to see, Mr. Lisa, I'm your man.
You would have been like, ah. No, Moe could never swim. I just remember
They
that
threw
being
you
a
in
thing.
regardless. They're like, you're gonna get in that pool, boy.
Yeah.
That's when teachers can be rude to you. And,
totally.
you know,
When
like,
Reagan is involved.
well, my fellow Americans.
Well, you're all going to have to swim.
It's either that or the nuke. Wait, what? We're escalating pretty quickly, Mr. President.
Get up that pegboard now. All right. So I'm glad you refreshed that memory because I kind of remember that. So, all right. That's it, man. I think we said enough.
All right.
All right, so Google Pixel 3, sponsored by Google. This whole episode, they paid us $4 million to sell.
We got paid for this?
Oh, I have something to tell you, buddy. You're not on the contract.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
No, all jokes aside, Pixel 3a is a winner if you're on a budget.
If you're on a budget, if you don't need all the expensive bells and whistles, this is a very, very... in the words of Flossie Carter, this is a go, okay?
This is a go,
It's
man.
not a major go, but it's definitely a major go.
Very. It's a go. And again, let us know your men posing tips or if you pose as a man. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.